how do you evaluate a professional practice for the purpose of property settlement? Very interesting question. My name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan. And today we're continuing our video series designed to educate and inform the public. So please subscribe to our channel. You know, when we talk about dividing up things in a divorce, it's easy to divide up, a chair, a TV, a car, even a house. We figure out the value, we divide it. How do you divide up a professional practice? So you marry someone in medical school, you're married for years and years, they develop a practice, now you're getting divorced. The practice is a marital asset, but what's it worth? How do you know? Well, number one, you're going to have to hire financial expert to determine the value of the practice. They're going to look at the income, what kind of patients there are, what the anticipated, future income is, what the consumption is, what the expenses are, and they're going to figure out a present day value for that practice. They're going to take the goodwill and the reputation of the firm into account because all of those things are of value. If your doctor spouse was deciding to sell the practice and retire with you, amongst the things they would sell is the expected income, the goodwill, the client base, the operation itself, maybe the lease, different things that are part of the practice where the practice occurs. The machinery, for example, all these things. This is all taken into account when we're trying to figure out the value for the purposes of a divorce. Oftentimes that item is the biggest asset that there is to divide. So it becomes very important to evaluate it. You have to understand, even if one spouse runs the practice, it still has to be evaluated and split up. And the truth of the matter is, sometimes we see practices where both spouses work in the practice, and that does provide a level of complication because the practice has a value. It's very interesting. I once saw somebody come into a divorce and they tried to sell to us the notion that the practice has no value because once they finish paying all the salaries and everything, there's nothing left. That's one way of looking at it. How much profit is there? He's saying there's zero profit, so there's nothing to divide. Well, meanwhile, that practice has been giving that person $500,000 salary for the last 20 years. So whatever you want to say of that practice, is it worthless? No, because it supported that person in high style for many years and will continue to do so. Well, guess what, folks? That has a value. It's like an investment. What kind of investment would you need to make to support you year in, year out and pay you $500,000? You know what? That would be a pretty hefty investment. And that is one way that we look at the value of this. We have to consider what it's done in the past and what it'll do in the future. If you have any questions about this, reach out and we'll be glad to help you out.
248-588-3333. 248